Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today's workout, I'm going to give you something different. So some of you know I'm a cross lifter, so I do bodybuilding, some CrossFit or conditioning, and I do functional training. And I just thought, why not give you guys something different? So I'm going to call this functional bodybuilding or unconventional bodybuilding. I haven't decided yet. And it's just basically giving you movements that's going to challenge you, but still work absolutely every single muscle group you can think of. Call it a full body workout, but you're going to be doing things that you probably haven't done before, and which means that you're having to learn, which means a lot of you, your ego might be bruised a bit because you're finding that you're going to have to only do stuff with just a barbell or baby weights. And this is perfect for everyone. I've given you scaled options, different options for this workout as well. And yeah, so any questions, leave a comment below. You're going to enjoy this one. Probably going to find it a bit more challenging as well. So yeah, I'm going to give you the warm up first before you get into this workout. Make sure you warm up properly. You will see why when you get into the workout. So yeah, enjoy. Starting this session with an overhead squat. This is an incredible exercise that requires great mobility as well as core and shoulder strength. Make sure to have your feet hip width apart, and I like to have my toes pointing outwards slightly. Also make sure you start with just a barbell or even a PVC pipe if you haven't done this before. Make sure to brace your core, keep your chest up and shoulders back and face forward. Using a mirror is a great way to help you with cues when performing the exercise. Now, some of you may be wondering, how do you brace your core? Well, simple as just taking a deep breath in through your mouth and hold it in. Or a better example, imagine someone's about to punch you in your stomach. The first thing most of us will do is tense up that area, which is very similar to bracing. Yes, I know there is more to it than that, but that is a very nuanced and simplified way to explain bracing. To scale this exercise, you can perform it using a box. It's a great way to familiarize yourself with the movement as well as build shoulder stability. You can use plates to go even lower till you're confident to perform the movement. This exercise also requires great ankle mobility, and you can also use plates under your heels or weightlifting shoes to help with that. I absolutely love the overhead squat, as not only is it a full body exercise, but the heavier the weights get, it will help you build strength and stability on your legs, core, lats, traps, shoulders, and wrist. Next, we have the kettlebell alternating Z press, an incredible exercise not just for your shoulders, but your core as well. To start, make sure you sit with your legs wider than your hips for better stability. Rest the kettlebell in the front rack position, almost like it's resting on your chest. The reason I like performing the Z presses is that it takes away your legs from the exercise, so it requires you to really engage your core during the movement, and also your shoulders will be working twice as hard during the exercise. You can also use a dumbbell if your gym doesn't have kettlebells. Another reason why this is a great core exercise is due to the imbalance of the weight when pressing overhead. You need to make sure to keep your core engaged to avoid tilting to one side during the overhead press. Of course, the heavier the weight, the harder and more intense this exercise becomes, and don't be surprised if you have to scale down the weight by a lot to perform the movement. Now, we've all probably performed an overhead press, aka military press, but this time we shall be combining both the military and a push press. So make sure your grip is shoulder width apart, and once again, make sure you brace your core and chest up, and very important, engage your glutes before you drive up. And when I say engage, I just mean squeeze your glutes. This will help to keep your core and lower back engaged. You can also use a belt as this exercise gets heavier. With the push press, you want to dip down by bending at the knees slightly. I like to drive my knees forward and out to the side, and then after the dip, drive straight up. The idea behind this is using momentum during the concentric, so your legs will be doing some of the work, but make sure to control that eccentric. So you perform 6 reps on the military press, ideally at your 6 rep max, and then straight into 6 push presses. Again, nice and controlled eccentric. The goal here is to strengthen your shoulders past the point of fatigue, so the 6 strict press should be very challenging, and then the push press is there to help get in those extra reps and make you stronger. Superset with the gorilla rows, very similar to the bent over row. However, the kettlebells allow you to work your lats unilaterally. This is a great exercise to help build a strong core. In the bent over position, make sure to have your core parallel to the floor and avoid rounding your upper back. Before rowing the weight, make sure you engage your lats and brace your core and focus on really rowing that weight with your lats. Again, when rowing, avoid rounding your upper back too much and also avoid your lower back sinking down to the floor. So make sure your glutes are engaged. You want to go as heavy as possible without compromising form. If you don't have kettlebells, you can use dumbbells. The next exercise is the inverted row, which is a very underutilized exercise, in my opinion, when it comes to improving pull-up. First, you want to have your arms shoulder width apart or even slightly wider. When rowing up, keep your core and glutes engaged. You want to make sure that your chest gets as close to the bar as possible. This exercise is a great way for improving your lats. To progress this, elevate your feet onto a box. If a box is too high, you can also use a bench or plates. Using a box means your body will almost be in a parallel position, making this exercise even harder. Try and make sure to control the eccentric portion of this movement to keep the muscle under tension for longer. Again, make sure your lower back and glutes do not sink down to the floor. You want your body to be in a straight line at all times when performing the exercise. So keep your glutes engaged throughout. The inverted row is a great accessory exercise to not only improve your pull-ups, but if you can't do pull-ups, these are a great way to strengthen your lats to enable you to start performing pull-ups. Next, we have ring dips. Now, we are all familiar with performing dips using a machine, but even more challenging is performing it on rings. What I love about doing dips with the rings is it creates instability, so you will have to work harder to perform the exercise. It is also great for unilateral work as both sides will be working equally without one overcompensating for the other. Make sure, and I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but it is very important you brace your core, keep your glutes engaged, and keep your legs together. Core engagement plays a huge role in helping to keep you stabilized whilst performing the movement, as those rings will be moving a fair bit as you're performing the exercise, and you want to maintain balance as much as possible. When going down, try and make sure your shoulders are either parallel to your elbows or slightly lower. This exercise is great in building strength and size on your anterior delts, triceps, and chest, as well as helping to improve shoulder stability and core strength. This is why the ring dip is such a great exercise. It's got to the point I only perform dips on the rings. And we're going to be doing 3 different variations of lunges. First, we're going to be starting with a front rack lunge. You want to make sure you engage your core and keep your body upright and avoid leaning forward. Try and also make sure you engage your lats. Yes, your lats, it plays a part in holding the dumbbell in place. Think of it as the same way you would hold a barbell in the front rack, elbows up and out. Second set, we will be performing an offset lunge, this time focusing on shoulder strength and stability. I like the offset lunge as it forces you to focus on really engaging your core, lats, and delts. Make sure to keep the arm overhead as straight as possible, and also with the opposite arm, those elbows up, just like the first exercise. Then third set will be the double overhead lunges. Now, this is a very difficult progression and it requires you to focus on engaging your lats, delts, core whilst performing the lunge. The double overhead lunges helps to build shoulder strength and stability, as well as a great way to add variety into the lunges. Before performing the exercise, make sure you use the cues from the previous sets and make sure you engage your glute at the bottom of the lunge to help you drive back up. You will be surprised how much harder it is to perform a double overhead lunge. The heavier the weight gets, this becomes a lot more challenging. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, leave a comment below. And if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to please leave a thumbs up as it helps my channel. And I appreciate you so much for doing so.